Brand new platform and tower on a set of pylons, never been used. It was for the Ares Orion project to lower Earth orbit, and the government canceled that, saying NASA needs to go to deep space and private industry to the space station. But that is going to be rebuilt for the huge Space Launch System rockets. We'll make the platform bigger, the tower taller, and it'll be used in Pad B. You can check the NASA websites too for animations of that huge thing. I got about 4.5 years or so from now, we'll have a first test flight out there. In front of us, the old work platforms that we stacked above each other in high bay 3 that would surround shuttle. You can see some of the almost drawbridge pieces that would come down so you can get close to the tank boosters, orbiter. Again, sold for scrap and being rebuilt in there for the Space Launch System and other future rockets. Look at another view of platform number 1 up here from shuttle, up ahead to the left between the two buildings. Again, launching Endeavour's final mission last year. The shuttle platforms like to the left were developed from the old Apollo platforms. We have 3 of them. And that piece of metal by itself weighs over 9 million pounds. When we go over the stone crawlerway in front of us, if you look all the way down to the left end, you'll see our outdoor crawler, the one that's remaining as is. And that weighs 6 million pounds. And we'll get a closer view from the highway side later. Now these posts or pylons that the platforms are on date back to Apollo. They're also duplicated out at the launch pad around the plane French. At the end of the road, a closer view of platform number 1 to the left with the people mover underneath it.
Bus looking thing underneath the platform.
It looks like a bus.
So up ahead to the right, this is NASA's future, although it's going to be a lot larger than it is now. We should start work on it this winter. Now remember, the 2 eastern bays of the VAB that we're coming up to are where we'd stacked shuttles all these years. The Space Launch System in the future, opening the doors again all the way to the top. We're also coming to a spot to show you how big this place is from outside. Now, in between the big gray doors on the white part of the building, follow that straight down to ground level. In the center of the building at ground level, you'll see 3 8-foot-high double-wide fire doors that really look like mouse holes.
See that thing? Look. Between the big gray doors are little mini doors. Don't they look tiny?
The long white building next door is the Launch Control Center with 4 firing rooms behind the windows. That's as close as anybody gets to a launch, and that's 3.5 miles from the pad. We're going to be crossing over the crawlerway, and this is as wide as an 8-lane highway. The crawler's straddling the grass strip in the middle.
See this fence? This is what carries the shuttle. This is the space here. See?
We have a special roadway because with shuttle flights, the full shuttle stack, platform, and crawler would weigh about 18 million pounds. Back at Apollo with the tower on there, it was about 24 million pounds. Our future craft will be heavier than that. Any of those would simply crush a roadway. Matter of fact, with the shuttle heading to the pad along this roadway here, the platform would be overhanging our bus. To build the crawlerway, we dug down about 6 feet, put in layers of hydraulic fill, crushed rock, limestone, and topped it with about 1 foot of this Alabama River rock. And under the weight of the treads, it crushes to dust. helps smooth the ride out so we don't rattle the spacecraft. High-tech way of refurbishing it, a road grader would come along, turn the rock over, and then it would have a piece of chain link fence dragging behind to smooth it. You don't have to get fancy with NASA. If it works, it works. Now, traveling at about a half mile an hour with a shuttle takes between 7 to 8 hours to get to the pads, but an empty crawler can zoom back closer to its top speed of 1 mile an hour.
Wow.
We'd roll out usually after midnight, so winds would be less, chance of thunderstorms less, and NASA didn't want to impact the tours the next day. Now, one of the two destinations just becoming visible ahead of us, about the 11 o'clock position over the trees, 39A. This hosted our final shuttle flights about the past 6 years. B was being reworked for Ares Orion that was canceled, now the Space Launch System. In Apollo, A was the active pad. B was a backup if something didn't work here. Well, everything worked. We thought we should try B at least once, so we only launched Apollo 10 there. The other Saturn V's left from A. For most of the years of shuttle flights, though, we just alternated back and forth each flight. We'll be visiting both.